Now it's time for the topic of the week, the Super Six Tournament.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to introduce to you the Super Six World Boxing Classic, the Super Middleweights.
The Super Six Tournament is very unique. It's unprecedented. 6 of the best fighters in the world are going to fight each other, and you can see who's the best fighter.
There's a group stage. Every fighter fights 3 fights in the group stage. They accumulate points.
2 points for winning, 1 point for a draw, and 0 points, of course, for losing.
There's a bonus point there to be had for the stoppage, and I'm going to be swinging away.
After the group stage, we add up the points. The bottom 2 are eliminated. The top 4 move on to the semifinals. It's the first time that you have 6 fighters of this caliber all agreeing to stand in and fight each other.
Chew, I'm really excited about this one. I actually had to call my cable provider and turn my Showtime back on. They finally put together some good fights with some names that people know.
Don't get me wrong, I'm excited about this and I do think it's a good idea. To me, the way that they're putting the tournament forth is not a real tournament. They left out a couple good fighters that could have been in this tournament, and they put in a guy like Andre Durrell, who's really just starting off in his career. Though I think there should have been guys like Bute in there instead of Andre Durrell. But what about a guy like Sakio Bika, who gave Calzaghe the toughest fight that I've seen anybody give Calzaghe?
There has to be something more going on with Sakio Bika. The guy, he made a great performance in the Contender, and then you haven't seen him since. I don't know if the guy has contract disputes, management disputes, but he just doesn't seem like he's in that mix. I have one alternate, which is Alan Green, and I just watched Alan Green fight last week. I don't know if you saw that fight.
No, I didn't.
Not impressed. Don't waste your time. I think the fighters that they have, all of them are going to make exciting fights. He's a great fighter, not that exciting. Bute, not that exciting. Andre Green, not that exciting. I do think they've picked the cream of the crop in that division.
And you have 0?
To me, it's a tournament only in name. They're taking forever to finish it. It's going to be 2 years before we know who wins. And it's really calling a tournament something that isn't a tournament, because all these guys would have been fighting each other anyway, and they should have just made a series of fights. You know, I know there's a hole in the division since Calzaghe left, and now everyone wants to know who's the man at 168. But in this case, I don't think we're really going to find out.
Each one of you tell me who's going to win. Who is your top 2 picks?
What about Kessler against Andre Ward? I saw their fights on Showtime a few weeks ago, since I still kept my subscription to Showtime, even though their coverage sucks. But those fights were terrible.
After seeing Andre Ward fight, I do think he is probably one of the most craftiest fighters in the ring today. Yeah.
I don't know, I didn't see a good jab out of him. I saw him pawing with the jab. A couple times he threw a snappy jab.
Kessler is a really big, strong fighter, and he'll have to be on top of his game through that whole fight.
He's the biggest, strongest guy out there in the division. He needs to be like Mike Tyson and go in with bad intentions. I've never seen him do that. I think he needs to like really step up the aggression and like realize like, I'm a big, strong guy. I don't have to hesitate. I don't have to take 2 rounds to like feel a guy out, because there's really nothing they can do to him. I don't think Ward can hurt Kessler.
I think it's going to be good for the division. I think it's going to open up the sports. I think we're going to find out who's going to be the crown man of the 168, and I think it's going to be good for boxing. I think other divisions might try to take on this, but let's see what the people think about it.
Everybody out here thinks the Super Six is a great idea, right? Right, people? It's about time Showtime got their shit together.
Thanks for tuning in to the boxing show, and we'll see you real soon.